want to say, when given the opportunity as a living donor, I can't even begin to express what it means to me to be a living donor, to be able to tell my story. And if I ever if I'm at an event and I see somebody from units, I'm always like, oh, I donated my kidney, and I show my scars. When I heard about people doing that before I donated, I'm like, oh, I'll never show my scars. And now I'm like, whew. Sorry, Mom. My parents, Diane and Steve McGavro. I asked my mom for a tissue, but she's probably going to need them. Bob and I's journey started on May 30th of 2015. That was the day that I actually called Bob and expressed to him that I wanted to be tested. Even on that day, I just knew in my heart that this was the right thing for me to do. I want to say call it divine intervention because I really feel like this was exactly where I needed to be. Our journey started on that day, but it actually started several months prior. He actually put a sign on the back of his truck that said, kidney needed, type O blood. And I was actually shopping in Wegmans that night, and I never go to Wegmans. Never. I usually go shopping at Tops, but it was in the completely different side of town, and it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I ran in there to get milk or something that I don't even drink. And funny, because Bob also never shops at Wegmans. So I'm walking through the aisles, and I hear these two older ladies talking about this guy had this truck and the sign on the back of his truck, and I'm now curiosity got me, and I went outside and I looked at it, and I stood there for what seemed like half an hour. It was probably only 2 minutes, but I felt immediately drawn to the truck. I didn't know Bob prior to this, and a lot of people say, how is it that you can donate to somebody if you don't know them? And like I said before, I feel it was divine intervention. I really feel that this is what I was meant to do. So I called Bob, and he's like, "Are you sure you really want to do this?" And I said, "Of course. I wouldn't have called you if I didn't want to do it." And he said, it's not like you're loaning me $20. I said, I still remember that, and we laughed. Prior to the surgery, I talked to him a handful of times. I work for the United States Postal Service, so I have very limited free time. So prior to me calling Bob, he actually had a donor lined up, and for whatever reason that fell through. So in talking to Bob, it comes out that he actually worked with my sister years ago in ECMC. So it just seems like everything was coming together for him. I think I originally called him maybe a couple days after his surgery got canceled. But I knew in my heart that this is where I needed to be. It was probably one of the easiest decisions I've ever had to make. And I don't even say it was a decision because I just said, yes, I want to do this. And I called my sister. I didn't even tell my mother until maybe a couple months before the actual surgery date. Because I was worried about what she and my family would think, me wanting to do this for a total stranger. I wish I would have told them sooner because they have been nothing but supportive. So on November 30th was our surgery date. It was 6 months exactly to the day that I made the first phone call to Bob. Bob calls me his angel all the time. He texts me all the time. And I always joke, I said, you text more than a woman. But I am truly a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Being a living donor is something that I am extremely proud of. It is something that I constantly talk about, and I constantly try to have an opportunity to tell my story, because I really truly believe that if I reach even one person, then it would make me very happy, because I think more people would be living donors if more people were educated about it. I think there's a lot of unknowns. And during this whole process, I've met an incredible group of people through units in the Kidney Foundation. In June, I actually participated in the transplant games, and also won a couple of medals.
Yeah, how many?
I
Six.
think it was six.
Six.
Oh, Mom knows. But it was an incredible opportunity for me to be around people that have gone through what I've gone through. Just a little kind of backstory. Let's get off of me for a second, and we'll get on to Bob. He was supposed to be here tonight, but at first I really, really wanted him to come, and I really wish that he would be here, because I think it would be something nice for him to see. But Bob is on vacation, and he is hunting. Somebody that I'm friends with said, doesn't that upset you that he's not going to be there with you? I'm like, absolutely not. I said, last year at this time, I remember Bob saying he went to Letchworth and he had a walker. He said it was such a pain in the butt to get up those stairs, and if you know Bob, he didn't use words like pain in the butt. He's doing exactly what he loves and exactly what he has not been able to do for quite a long time. To see such a transformation in him makes what I did, that makes it all worthwhile. He's actually running through his neighbor's yard after turkeys. Last year, Bob could barely walk. And he said, you know what, go up there and be the rock star you are, give your speech, tell them that I love you, and tell them that, he said, I'm doing exactly what I want to do, and I'm not 6 feet under. That was Bob's exact words. I'm like, I don't know if I want to say that. But I do thank you guys for letting me tell my story. In fact, I have a tattoo on my ankle that I was joking about that goes towards a kidney donation, and I say it hurt more than the surgery. Bob is literally the male version of me. We have so much in common, and it has to be divine intervention that we are brought into each other's lives. Everybody jokes about when is the wedding. That's not going to happen. I always call him my brother from another mother. But we have incredible amounts in common. But he wants to go back to Colorado, and I told him he cannot leave until our 1-year kidneyversary, which is November 30th. So, but yeah, he's doing great, and he can't be here tonight because he's out hunting in a tree stand. But thank you very much.